Now, as for the question, would I recommend? Oh, absolutely. I thought it was a brilliant introduction for young adults to read a thriller but with a funny twist. Hi, my name is Terry Westwell and welcome back to Panic at the Book Club. This week we'll be discussing Don't Swipe Right by L.M. Chilton. If you'd like to take part in this online book club, you can find out more information on how via the channel's intro video. We list the next 4 books below and on TikTok, along with the discussion dates. We also accept your book feedback in a wide manner of ways. Post your comment below a video, send me a voice note, or even send me a short video clip of you discussing the book. Alternatively, you could just send me a direct message on Instagram. Gwen is getting over the breakup with long-term boyfriend Noah, but it's time for her to get back out there again. Unfortunately, with a limited dating pool, it just seems like every day is worse than the last. 29-year-old entrepreneur Gwen Turner loves true crime podcasts, but hates it when people refer to themselves as an entrepreneur. Although considering most of her recent dates are showing up dead, perhaps that should make it to the top of the list of things Gwen hates. They say romance is dead, but if Gwen can't catch this mystery killer, it's about to get a whole lot deadlier. Just your friendly spoiler alert that if you haven't read this book yet, I would suggest going doing that first, because beyond this point there will definitely be spoilers. It was easy to read and funny, and you know what? It was damn enjoyable to read something so British. Most of the chapters were a pretty decent length. However, I did catch myself at one point wishing it did speed up a little bit and build a little bit more suspense. Although perhaps that's just because I was impatient to find out who the killer was. There were a ton of red herrings and misdirects. Like, I was convinced that it was the cop for a while, but then I was also convinced that maybe it was the ex Noah. One thing's for sure, I did not see that ending coming. Which made for a really nice change, because I'm usually pretty good at calling it. I really liked Gwen's character from the beginning. In a lot of ways she was very relatable, but then she made some somewhat questionable decisions. I mean, she's undoubtedly persistent, I'll give her that. I mean, obsessed with true crime or not, I think if all of my dates started showing up murdered, I would probably try and stay out of the way and leave it to the professionals. Like, how did she not end up getting arrested? Also, I have no idea why she was getting so angry at that other cop. I mean, of course she looked guilty, but this was just a part of what was funny about this book. I mean, the sarcastic tone and the British slang and the mannerisms were spot on, and it was really funny. It was kind of a little bit like Bridget Jones at the beginning. It was absolutely spot on, but it was kind of like a parody of a thriller. And I don't mean that negatively. The characters were just super weird and did not do what was expected. It was dark and funny, and the characters were just a little bit idiotic. Detective or Officer Lyons should probably lose his job. Taking Nancy Drew here along for the ride and doing their own investigations, despite the fact that Gwen was a very viable suspect. Not to mention getting drunk and sleeping with her in the office when the investigation was still technically open. When is the police station that empty anyway? I mean, aren't they like a 24-hour thing? Where the hell was everybody else? Sarah had some damn screws loose as well, that's for sure. Like, I know I'll kill these 5 other random dudes to punish my best friend and my fiancé and keep the heat off myself. To be fair, it was a total surprise. There was a moment where I thought, these 2 people, Gwen and Sarah, are friends. I get Gwen was going through some stuff and she was feeling pretty guilty, But if my maid of honour kept asking constantly, yeah, but do you really want to marry him though? Like, I'd probably tell her to off. But then again, if my best friend was also that unsupportive after I'd just split up with my long term boyfriend, I'd probably tell her to off too. It hadn't exactly been a very long time since the breakup. Neither of them were particularly good friends. One of them murdered people, and the other one slept with her best friend's fiance, so maybe that's a given. But even besides the bigger things, they were not very good people. I read this book on my Kindle, and to be totally honest with you, I absolutely suck at highlighting and taking notes on my Kindle, but apparently I did highlight one bit. So apparently the chap they all thought did it might not be so guilty after all. Well, no shit, Sherlock. It's never the guy you think it is. Talk about a self-fulfilling prophecy. I love moments like that in books. Now, as for the question, would I recommend? Oh, absolutely. I thought it was a brilliant introduction for young adults to read a thriller but with a funny twist. Although all of the characters were a little older, like Gwen herself was 29, it was definitely still quite naive and unrealistic. So I think that would be better appreciated by a young adult rather than someone who might read more serious whodunit thrillers. I think it probably could have been a little bit more adult, like maybe new adult, and I probably would have liked it a lot more, but it was a really fun read. Like, the book was a little bit like how I imagine people would feel watching the first Scream movie now for the first time. Like, it was funny and dark and totally ridiculous. But considering that Scream is one of my all time favourites, I would consider that high praise. Also, can we just take a second to appreciate this front cover? I mean, if that doesn't make you want to read the book, I don't know what will. I'm actually a little bummed out that I didn't get myself the paperback, but I think it is currently on Kindle Unlimited. But let me know what you thought. Did you enjoy the book? Shelley said she really enjoyed this book. Gwen seemed lovely and was definitely a do it yourself kind of person. It was an easy read with great plot twists and great characters. It had her guessing who did it, and she wasn't the only one. Bookie Book Club over on Instagram said that they loved it too.
Okay, so a million thoughts. It did start out really well, I thought. It was very British, which I enjoyed. It did feel a little like Bridget Jonesy, at least in the beginning, and then that quickly went away, so that was like a that lost a point. There wasn't really tons of humour there, I didn't think. I thought the whole thing was just pretty unrealistic. I mean, I realise that, it's probably not written for people like me, and it's probably for young adults or people who are just wanting an easy read. The fact that she had so many bumps with the dead bodies and then somehow got away every single time. Like, she was never formally arrested, even though she was caught with like 4 corpses. There was that weird teasing moment where she thought that the policeman was the killer, and that lasted about 2 chapters and felt unnecessary. I'm going to be honest, at the moment they arrested Charlie, I was like, okay, the book can end here, but I still had quite a bit left. And I was like, what's going on? Like, and then when she was in the police station, she has sex with, Detective Lyons, which makes no sense. Like, no professional homicide detective is going to have sex with a suspect or get drunk with her in the policeman's office. It's just not going to happen. In the end, it was like, it was her best friend, it was Sarah all along, and Like, communicate, girl. Like, you know, you could just say something. You don't have to go on a killing spree and then try and get her life ruined. It still didn't make sense that it caused this woman to go completely psycho. And she's like, okay, fine, yeah, I'll run away to Canada and let's call it even. And it's like, what? What? Like, how? Call it even. Like, at this point, she owes you nothing, girl. They don't even go into, like, Charlie and Richard, like, and apparently their whole cryptocurrency scam thing that they were doing. They don't say if they got their comeuppance for the crime they were doing. I was intrigued the whole time. I really didn't see it coming that What's-Her-Face would be the murderer. I really didn't. And I can appreciate that. And I'm probably going to end up giving this, like, a 2-star. I did enjoy it, but I just rolled my eyes so hard every few pages. So there you go.
Next week, we'll be discussing A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, so don't forget to get your comments and thoughts in by Monday, the 23rd of October at the latest, to be a part of the discussion. You can do this on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. The following week, we'll be discussing Holly by Stephen King. And don't forget, if you do need a little bit longer to read a book, I do list the next 4 books down below and on TikTok. That way you can choose which one best suits you. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next week. Bye.